now that we understand that we are basically going through a shifting financial system in which the old system is being replaced by this new digital system, and we now understand that the traditional finance or TradeFi, as well as fintech companies, as well as banks, and also decentralized finance, are all coming together and merging into one thing. And this new thing is the new digital finance. I mean, all of it together is the new digital finance that we are entering into. And we also know that Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, told everyone that the bottom 50% that do not have assets are the workers, and the top 50% that do have assets aren't workers, basically, right? Because their assets, they've bought up assets, they've taken their assets, and they've put their assets to work in order for their assets to make them money. Remember, a liability is anything that you consume or purchase that erodes money from you or from your bank account, or however you want to look at it, right? It constantly costs you money. That's a liability. Like a house, a car, food, all these things cost you money, right? You purchase them and you consume them and have to purchase them again, or you purchase them and let's say you purchase a car, and then now that you've got the car, you've got to constantly do an oil change, you got to constantly put fuel in it, you got to constantly change the tires, etc., etc., etc. So you're constantly putting money into this thing. That is a liability. Then there's the assets. Assets are things that put money into your pocket, right? They bring you money. They bring money to you when you put that asset to work. So if you buy a second car, not the one you're using for work, but a second car, and you lease that out to somebody to do whatever they're going to do with it, then it is bringing you money in every single month. So liabilities take things away from you, takes money away from you, causes you to have to work more and more and more and more. And an asset, if put to work, brings money into you constantly and consistently. And therefore there's no reason to work, because you can take your assets that you now have that are making you money, and you can take the money that they're making for you to purchase the things that you need in life. So what I want to do is I want to introduce you to decentralized finance. And I'm going to introduce you to what I consider to be the top of the line in decentralized finance. I'm going to introduce you to the Metallicus Ecosystem. So let's start right here with Marshall Hayner. As you can see, Marshall Hayner is the CEO of Metallicus. And what he says is free the money, free the people from crushing debt, free the future generations from financial oppression, free the opportunity, free the world. Okay, so if what I told you in the last video is that it is literally going to take a paradigm shift for you to understand the new financial system. People are used to money being extracted from them constantly. And they are also used to usury and inflating the inflating of the US dollar or whatever fiat currency. And so what they're used to is, as the government inflates a currency, the cost of everything just gets to be more and more and more, and it gets to the point that nobody can afford anything. This is the things that people are used to. What they are not used to is having assets and having income constantly flowing to them from all sorts of various avenues. So it's going to take a paradigm shift to truly understand the new financial system. So what we're going to do is let's take a look at the reason why I'm going to introduce you to the Metallicus ecosystem. Once I've introduced you to how DeFi works in the Metallicus ecosystem, as we go through a series of videos as we cover everything that has to do with Metallicus, once you understand that decentralized finance, how it works, you can go out and you can take a look at all the other decentralized finance or decentralized exchanges, etc., and do whatever you want to do in life. I just want to introduce you to it, and the reason why I'm choosing Metallicus is because of these things. the Metal blockchain is the base layer of the entire Metallicus ecosystem, okay? But the Metal was built for banking and institutional adoption. All right. Now, when we get into creating our first wallet, probably in the next video, you're going to understand that this is both for retail and institutions. Okay, this is one of the very few wallets that are designed for both retail and institutional custody. But he says here, Metal was built for banking and institutional adoption. It is BSA, AML, and KYC compliant. So BSA is the Banking Secrecy Act. Okay, so it is compliant to the Banking Secrecy Act. I believe that was 1971, somewhere around in there. But it's compliant. Look at the other chains that are out there, and as you get comfortable with decentralized finance, as we walk you through how to get comfortable with it, how to understand it, how to function in it, all these things, then branch out and look at the other decentralized finance applications that are out there, and you determine, are they BSA compliant. It is also AML compliant. That is anti-money laundering compliant. So it is compliant to make sure that we don't have money laundering taking place through the Metallicus ecosystem. Okay? Again, it is compliant according to the United States government rules. It is also Know Your Customer compliant. That's what KYC means. That means when you set up a wallet, yes, you're going to have to give your address, your social security number. You're going to need a picture of the front of your ID card, the back of your ID card, all of these things so that they know who you are, right? And by the way, for those of you that don't know, KYC came into existence. I probably shouldn't get into this, but KYC came into existence because of mafias and things that were going on in the past, and they needed to be able to track the enemy. That's what it's literally for. It's not against you. It's not to be able to shut off your account and all these different things that people try to create fear with. It is literally to stop mafia and money laundering and all sorts of other things that go on that the enemy has been doing all this time, but has been able to get away with because they were not KYC compliant. It has integrated digital identity. So when you go out to all of the various blockchains, whether that's BTC, XRP, or any other blockchain, right, Ethereum, it doesn't matter, you end up with a wallet address that is a string of letters and numbers that you have to somehow memorize in order to have your wallet address, both your public and private keys, right? In the Metallicus ecosystem, you get an @username. And we'll explain more of that when we go to build up to create our first wallet, our first account. But digital identity is built and integrated right into the Metal blockchain. Unlike 99% of the blockchains that are out there. So it makes it super easy on you, the user, and it makes it just flow very smoothly to where you don't have to present anything. No information about you has to be taken. They already know that it's you, right? They don't need any private information. They know it's you because identity is built in. It's a blessing, and you don't even realize it yet. It is ISO 20022 messaging compliant, right? It's running on it has the ISO 20022 messaging system built into it, and that's what the banking system, the new financial banking structure, the messaging system it runs on is this ISO 222 or 20022 messaging. And everything has to be compliant and using it, I believe, by November something. It might be October, but I believe it's November. The next thing it says, it is infant scalability with subnets. And these subnets are specifically for institutions and specifically for banks and credit unions. And it's infinite, that you can scale this infinitely, meaning you can take every bank and every credit union and every institution and put them into a subnet. So it is infinite. You don't understand yet just how important that is. but it is proprietary virtual machine for banking. In other words, it's a white label. In other words, a bank or a credit union can come right in and plug and play. They don't have to recreate the steering wheel, or they don't have to recreate anything. It's a plug and play system. It is a virtual machine for banking. That's what the entire Metal blockchain and the Metallicus ecosystem is about. And it is guided by banking innovation programs. Okay, so the overall focus of the Metallicus ecosystem is banking and credit union. So just so you understand it, that is their focus. That's where they're centered. That's who they're trying to onboard from traditional finance into crypto, or traditional finance into fintech. Remember, fintech and traditional banks are going to merge together and become one thing. All right. So that is the Metal blockchain, and that is the reason I'm introducing you to this one over any of the other ecosystems for decentralized finance, because we have a completely 100% compliant bank and credit union focused ecosystem that is a white label for these institutions. And just to give you an idea, let's go up here and let's take a look at this, which is the Credit Union Times, right? This is a basically they put out articles, and as you can read here, strategic insight and real world news for credit union leaders who drive change. Okay, and then you can get the link to their website right here. Again, it's just a bunch of articles going over what's taking place and the leaders who are driving change within the credit union ecosystem. But let's take a look up here at what they have done, right? So we are at the Credit Union Times, and we can scroll up to the top here for a second. Let me get all the way up. It's the 2025 CU Times Luminaries Awards. These are the Luminary Awards finalists announced, right? So we put out a call for submissions for this year's CU Times Luminary Awards. The credit unions industry answered the call, and we received hundreds and hundreds of incredible entries. After several weeks reading and studying each submission, the Credit Union Times editorial staff is thrilled to announce the finalists of this year's awards in 25 categories. So you have everything from the credit union categories, and you got community credit unions that are 4 billion and up, $1 million to 4 billion, a billion and below, and then you got excellent in marketing, 4 billion and up, 1 billion to 4 billion, 1 billion. You can pause and read this if you want. It's not important. We're going to get down to the bottom here. You got innovation in tech, technology project rollouts to various credit unions. And then we come on down here, and we have to scroll down quite a ways, and then we get to the more important things here. So we have product innovation, credit, debit, payment solutions, Metallicus, right? Product innovation, mobile banking, Metallicus. This is what's been awarded to Metallicus. Metallicus is not a fly-by-night ecosystem, guys. This is something that is being awarded to the Metallicus ecosystem by the Credit Union Times. So the Credit Union Times is fully aware of the Metal blockchain. But let's continue. The standard for banking on blockchain is Metal. Okay, this is from Metallicus TBN. Metal Pay. Don't be surprised if you see Metal Pay inside your mobile banking app in the near future. September the 2nd, 2025. So not too long ago, just about a month ago, they put this out. Okay, so you may be seeing Metal Pay, which we'll get into more details on Metal Pay in later videos. This is just an introductory to the Metallicus ecosystem and why I'm teaching you the Metallicus ecosystem as far as decentralized finance instead of other ecosystems. This is the only 100% compliant, built with compliance, started and initiated with compliance. They are far ahead of the game. Okay, But don't be surprised if you see Metal Pay inside your mobile banking app in the near future. Just don't be surprised by it, because it's likely coming. Then we have Rio Blocks, and they say most chains build one product. Metallicus TDBN builds an entire ecosystem, and at its core sits the XPR network, powering everything. Okay, this was the Proton network at one time, and you have the Proton symbolism. So here's the lineup. You got the XPR network. It is feeless, instant, built to scale, layer 1. This is the layer that sits on top of the Metal blockchain, which is a layer 0. I'll show you that in a minute. It is feeless. There are no gas fees. You use Bitcoin, you're going to be charged outrageous gas fees when the network's under load. Same with Ethereum, same with ADA, same with all of them, right? You have some sort of a gas fee. There are no gas fees at all on the XPR network. This is game-changing, guys. Game-changing. And if you think banks and stuff are going to want gas fees, they're not. They want their users, their members, especially credit unions, they want their members to have no gas fees to be able to move things very easily with no cost. Okay, that's what XPR network is. Feeless, it is instant, and it is built to scale. Okay, the WebAuth wallet, your name, your identity. Again, because of the WebAuth wallet, you do not need to have personal information. They can, because you have an identity and you have a name, an @ username instead of a long series of letters and numbers, you have digital identity built in. It's built into the system. You don't have to prove who you are. It is known who you are. The loan protocol, you can borrow, lend, and earn on chain. A metal blockchain that's the layer 0 foundation for financial institutions. This is where the subnets come in, where the institutions can build private subnets or private blockchains, which is, again, it's just a white label. They're just going to take what already exists and use it and put their name on it. But they're still going to be using the Metal blockchain. MetalX app, trade anything, 0 gas fees, full compliance. Again, it is fully 100% compliant with the laws and regulations set forth by the United States. It is a United States-based company. Metal Pays Me, crypto payments made simple. You can literally purchase crypto straight from Metal Pays Me app. Then you have the Metal DAO, the Metal Dollar, which is the $XMD, reserved back stablecoin. It is backed 1-to-1 with real assets. The Metal Dollar is, and it is a basket of other stablecoins. Okay, unlike any of the other ecosystems out there. Again, this is not just compliant, but you can trust in it because it is backed by real assets. Then you have the Metal L2, or Metal Layer 2, which is the banking layer. It's interoperable and compliant by design from the get-go. So while most projects focus on one niche, Metallicus builds the full stack: identity, payments, AI tools, compliance, DeFi, decentralized finance, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and stablecoins, all connected. That's why XPR isn't just another chain. It is the heart of a living financial ecosystem that is evolving very, very fast. So let's take a look at, let's go over here to the Metal blockchain. It's Banking Innovation Program members. So who are the members, the program members in the Banking Innovation? You've got Go West, you've got MDDC, the Texas, you got Onesie, Keypoint is part of it, Bay Federal. All of these are credit unions. Patelco, these are all credit unions. And then you can click on these to learn more. Metallicus, the core developer of Metal blockchain, a foundational level 0 blockchain, today announced Patelco Credit Union's enrollment in its Banking Innovation Program. Okay, These are banks that are piloting the metal blockchain, right? This is real world usage. They ain't fully engaged in it yet. They are piloting it. They are testing it out. They are seeing how it will work for their customers and their bank. It's actually happening in the real world. It's being tested. Okay, let's continue. So Marshall says, we are near completion of A, XPR, B, BTC, and D, Doge, proof of stake chains to launch on the Metal blockchain. Proof of work had its place 15 years ago, but now with the advent of 51% attack being a reality few are talking about, we are preparing the lifeboat, right? Noah's Ark. Mine from home and earn metal and save crypto. Save the entire crypto industry, because now, especially with things like BTC, this 51% attack is very easily done because of the miners who control the miners and how big they've become and how much of the network they own and all these things. This 51% attack can very easily take place, right? So what they are doing is they are creating a proof of work, a proof of stake situation, and where you can earn metal and secure these chains that are subject to these 51% attacks, which would destroy that chain. Okay, so this is a lifeboat that they're in development of, and this was posted August 22nd. And let's end it with this. Metal. This is Metallicus, and on-ramp is the Metal Pays Me, which is a app. DeFi is the Metal X app, and the wallet is the WebAuth wallet. That's how you can move to Metal. So when you see this hashtag move to Metal, this is what they're talking about. You come over to the Metallicus ecosystem and into the decentralized finance on the Metal X app, okay, which is a super app, and you'll begin to hear more and more about super apps if you're paying attention to what's happening in this new financial system. Okay, you're also going to hear a lot more about decentralized finance, looping, and all these other things that can produce massive amount of income over long periods of time. So that's an introduction. This is the reason, this is the ecosystem I'm going to introduce you to, walk you through it, teach you how to use it, how to become a part of it, set up a wallet, everything. And then once you fully master the Metallicus ecosystem, you are free, and you are very much welcome to go out and look at all the other decentralized financial ecosystems that are out there and decide if you want to participate in those as well, or if you just want to stay with Metallicus or whatever. Again, the reason why I'm choosing to teach you with this one is because it is compliant. You don't have to worry about compliance issues, lawsuits by the government, all these things. It was built with compliance from the very beginning. 10 years in the making, and here we are, and it's growing, and it's becoming, and it's being tested by various institutions. So if there's any ecosystem to learn, it would be the Metallicus ecosystem. And then once you understand the Metallicus ecosystem and you understand decentralized finance, now at that point you can branch out to the other ecosystems and take a little bit more risk, because they're not completely compliant, and other issues that are out there. So we're going to start with Metallicus, and I'm going to walk you through everything in the Metallicus ecosystem and how to use everything. And we're going to start in the next video by setting us up a WebAuth wallet, and because that's where everything starts. You have to have a WebAuth wallet, and well, we'll just get in that in the next video. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Get in the Word, stay in the Word, get the Word in you. Probably the most important thing you can possibly do. But understand that Metallicus is completely compliant. It is being tested, and the future is very, very bright. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. God bless you all.